it going, everybody? It's your boy Universal Veteran here again with another video, and I'm not entirely sure if I'm going to upload this video to YouTube or not. I kind of just want to talk a little bit, really about anything. Mostly, I wouldn't say mostly, it's just, for those who don't know me on a personal level, I'm a very, I wouldn't necessarily say creative individual. I don't go out of my way to like create works of wonder, or I'm not very good with my hands, and besides painting, which is the only thing that I really do as a hobby, I'm not really good or inclined to like mechanical or construction or, you know, typical things that a man, some people would consider a manly task, you know, home improvement, car work, whatever. But I would say on the creative aspect, I am creative in terms of being able to create stories in my head. For a while, in my early 20s, probably for a good few years, I thought that I was going to end up writing a book. And I was determined to write about cultivation. I don't know, for those who don't know, cultivation novels and like Chinese novels or Korean novels, Japanese light novels, web novels, and whatnot. I went through a massive phase where I spent the better part of my time as I drove listening to just that, and I still do. Just before making this video, I've been listening to this series on this app on my phone that consists of over 700 chapters, and every day as they release new chapters, I listen to them pretty much religiously over the past like 6 months. And I actually had when I mean like the creative side of me, when I'm listening to this chapter, which is the book that I'm currently listening to, I can't give you the real detail about like the whole concept of the book because we would be here forever. But basically, the whole concept is the main character, he gains a system in another world, a cultivation world, and he is one of the strongest currently, and he just existed for 1 million years, right? And while that's irrelevant knowledge to you, it had me thinking about like what I would do during that time of existence, you know, because we don't really think about how short our lives are, you know. I'm 31 right now, I'll be 32 in October, and that's almost, if I live to the average age of 78, 80 years old, I'm already a third through my life, you know. So trying to understand or grasp the concept of living for 1 million years is really intriguing, because it's like, what do you do with all that time? How do you manage your existence in a time frame so incomprehensible that it's basically forever from now, you know? And one of the things that the main character likes to do is every 1,000 years or so is he'll go into the mortal world and he'll pretty much change his looks, his appearance, his age and whatnot, and pretend to be a certain person. So like 100 chapters ago, he would say like, oh yeah, for 60 years I played as a guard of a random empire, you know, or another lifetime after that I would be a husband and wife and father multiple kids until she died and all my grandkids and children forgot about me, you know. Or he would go off and found a sect and be the leader, the emperor for, you know, 500 years and then just disappear one day. So it's like situations like that, which is really interesting to me, because most of these novels consist of just continuous struggles of reaching, like getting stronger and stronger and stronger, and that's like all there is to these individuals, you know. There's nothing deeper or meaningful about who they are and the type of person that they are, to where it's just a cookie cutter, like, oh, I've reached one realm, okay, now I'm just going to fight a bunch of random people, and then oops, I've reached another realm, you know. And it's just an endless cycle of getting stronger for the sake of getting stronger, and there's no end to it. And a lot of these characters say like, oh, well, once I become an immortal, I will eventually, you know, go out and experience the world. And for this book, it's like the main character's not all powerful by any means, but yet he still experiences it. So back to what I was saying is like, what would I do for 1 million years, you know? What would I do for 500 million years from the last chapter to this one, you know? And it just had me thinking about like how many fucking books, how much produced every year, you know, in all of the collective humanity, you know, just how many fucking new books are written by people that you've never heard of. Millions upon millions. I think Google said that 12 million books have been created in the last 12 years or something like that. And it's like, that's fucking a million books a year, you know? And it's like, just thinking about the potential of reading all these works from every possible angle of creativity is mind-blowing to me. And it's like, there's so many potential ways to combine words to make a novel interesting, that there's almost an infinite variety of potential books that can be created. And even the 12 million figure that I just said, or the 150 something million books that have ever been created, is still a drop in the ocean compared to what is potentially reasonable, you know? And for me, if I was in one of these stories, obviously this is fucking never gonna happen, but for me to pass my time, I feel like knowledge would be one of the things that would keep me interested in life, you know, because I know that there's, even if I exist for a million years, how many billions or trillions or even more potential humans will have existed during that time to write something, write about their life, write about a fucking random story, or write about their experiences. And while some of them might be a rinse and repeat of the same boring information, and a lot of it may just be stupid documents from the fucking government or some random warehouse that you have the bill of lading for, you know, stacks upon stacks of just random shit like that, you know. Just the thought of never knowing that knowing that you're never really going to read the same thing, no matter how similar it is something that I would probably strive to undertake in terms of like collecting said knowledge and preserving it in one space, one beacon of, you know, literary like wisdom and knowledge in just one area, you know. And it's just like, how many empires or kingdoms have existed before us, you know, that during them being invaded or something, the opposing armies ransacked their libraries, destroying thousands, tens of thousands of fucking works that we'll never retrieve again, you know. And like having the thought of potentially like getting so powerful in one of these novels to the point to where you're able to preserve knowledge that was created 50,000 years ago, and you are still able to grab said book, open it up and read it as if it was just fresh off the fucking printing press, I feel like would be a really good or an interesting way to, you know, make my life more enjoyable. But I guess it kind of comes down to, I don't know. And I guess another thing too would be like exploring the world, wherever I'm at, you know, exploring the universe, whatever the fuck this novel is. I don't know. And like on the same topic, like creativity, like things that like wow me and like make me think deeply about life is like the sheer quantity of like items produced. Not just novels in general, but I told this to my girlfriend about 4 months ago, and I had this conversation while we were after we went on our trip to Montana last year, and I brought it up to her about a while afterwards. I said, you know, it's crazy to think about. It's crazy to think that you're able to, you know, drive for 1,200 miles across the country, you know, and you're able to stop at these gas stations in these towns, hundreds of towns, maybe even 1,000 towns of just small scale. You know, you could stop at any one of these gas stations, no matter where you are in the country, and you're still able to find a fully stocked shelf with the items that you're accustomed to. Like, let's say Doritos, you know? Like, you could go into any store in the country, no matter where you go, no matter how far away you travel, no matter how many different places you visit, you're always going to find a bag of fucking Doritos. And, like, just try able to not only distribute this one particular item across the thousands of stores in the United States alone, tens of thousands of gas stations, distribution centers, fucking massive superstores, like anywhere, literally, anywhere. And the fact that you're able to get, like, people are able to get their hands on this item, like, everywhere, it's just fucking crazy for me to think about. Like, just imagining the sheer complexity of being able to accomplish a task like that is something that people don't really think about, And, like, as a truck driver, when I worked for my old company, Ruan, I would deliver an entire trailer worth of food, refrigerated food, to maybe 2 to 5 stores per day, 5 days a week, fucking all year round. And I'm just one truck. And just thinking about the sheer amount of pallets that contain food on them that are delivered to these Target stores every day, and then you multiply that by fucking 150 trucks that are doing the same thing all across the Midwest from my one company alone. It's just like, how does the human brain even understand, like, every layer of the process of anything you do in life involves the complexity of fucking 1,000 different institutions and individuals micromanaging everything from the creation of a product all the way to you eating it, and it's like things like that. Just, it just makes me hopeful for humanity, not in the way that you think, like, I understand that our mass production is leading to the deterioration of our planet, we're destroying the fucking earth as we go on, as the decades and centuries pass, just from our sheer quantity of things being produced and wasted, my hope is that if we're able to, create a bag of Doritos in fucking Santa Barbara, or I don't know, San Antonio, Texas, and then have that bag be transported all the way to New York, where a person is able to buy it for a few dollars and eat that, and you could have an entire trailer filled with thousands of bags of Doritos doing the same exact thing. It's like, there should be no reason why we can't solve the issues that we have, Like, there's so many problems with our country to the point to where it almost seems hopeless a lot of the times. But just thinking about those things, thinking about the ability of individuals that are able to come together and create a chain of command that is capable of moving millions of packages of Doritos everywhere in the country, where everybody can conveniently walk into a store wherever they are in the world, or at least in the States, and find that product that they like, then I feel like there's no reason why we can't come together and solve the complex issues that we have today. And that keeps me hopeful for the future. That keeps me moving forward and knowing that, and remaining hopeful that things are going to be all right. Things will eventually figure their way out. When it gets hard enough, people will put their minds together to make it better. And that's what we've always done as a species, While we've had roadblocks on the way, and we may fucking doom ourselves and kill off, 75% during a nuclear war. The fact is that humans in general, are creatures of habit, and we are not willing to die easily. I may never be able to experience it if a doomsday scenario happened, but I know for a fact that no matter how hard it gets, unless we are entirely fucking destroyed in one fell swoop, all it takes is a handful of individuals to restart civilization and restart the complexity that we have now. And even if it takes eons, thousands of years, there's no reason why we can't become a spacefaring civilization. There's no reason why we can't come together and fix climate change. There's no reason why we can't come together and build a world where there is no poverty and there is no suffering. And even if it takes, you know, multiple generations, multiple lifetimes, hundreds of lifetimes, I have no doubt that one day in the future that reality like won't exist. I have no doubts in my mind that the reality will exist in some way, shape, or form. But I don't know. It's stuff like that that makes me fucking think. And it's just I occasionally look outside as I'm driving. You know, I look at the tractors producing corn or fucking picking it up off the ground, not producing it, picking it up off the ground, and just imagining the billions and trillions of kernels that are going to make their way to becoming all the essential products in the world that we consume, and the sheer capability of what's able to be made by lone individuals is, I don't know, I wouldn't necessarily say heartwarming, but reassuring to me, at least. I didn't really intend for this to become a sentimental video. I'm just kind of talking, shooting my shit, you know. But I'm gonna end this here. I think I got out what I wanted to say. But I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out as always, and have a nice night, guys.